It's absolutely gorgeous today, and I just wanted to share this cloud. Gorgeous.
Y'all, it is Ace of Cups tea here, where we sip tea, talk about divine alignment, the meaning behind it all, and of course we go with the flow. So let's have some tea. So today's tea is Tiesta tea. It is immunity tea. Tiesta tea.
And in it we have hibiscus, elderberries, currants, Rubio's tea, sweet blackberry leaves, candied cranberries, rosehip, and rose petals. Here in my little lovely cup. So we are going to allow that to steep.
And get into today's topic. When we talk about mantras, hymns, chants, all of those kinds of sound techniques, we're talking about filling your consciousness with a specific vibration, understanding how to tap into different levels of consciousness using them, different levels of meditation, using these frequencies and understanding them. And it got me really into looking up whatever I could find about mantras. I think maybe one of my first memories of a mantra, or at least like an Eastern type of mantra, was watching Angela Bassett play Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with About It. And she has this, you know, she gets away from Ike and she finds her independence and her peace, and she starts to kind of chant to all of these mantras. And one of them is Namnyo no Renge Kyo. You can, I even like looked it up on YouTube. They have videos of it on YouTube. It's actually a very famous mantra. But I think that was maybe my first time that I was introduced to a mantra like that. And I remember even when I heard it in the movie, I was like, it was like, whoa, what is that sound? It's just like this, again, it's this frequency, this vibration. And I think that was my first introduction to that kind of mantra. And back then when I was that young, I didn't really understand it, but I remember still to this day, it's one of my favorite parts of the movie, because the sound of that and the peace that she held and the composure that she held, it was so powerful, you know. So in that sense, that's my little anecdote about mantras that we'll get into even more later. And then we have hymns, which are also a frequency. Hymns are gospel, you know. Whenever I hear gospel music, I haven't ever really been heavy in the church like that. My mom goes to church, but she's open to understanding other things, and my dad is just not religious at all. So, you know, I was one of those kids that went to church on the holidays. Holiday church girl. But anyway, gospel music, whether I was in church or in the car with my family or in Jamaica, whatever the case may be, gospel music always literally makes me cry. Like, just emotional tears of just feeling just pour out of me. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not even necessarily like a Jesus person, like in that sense, like religious, where I'm like, oh Jesus. I'm not. And it doesn't matter what they're saying in gospel music. It's the way that they're singing, it's the frequencies, it's the organs, it's everything about gospel music that produces a frequency that I think just stirs certain emotion. It stirs a compassion. So, you know, I think we're all, you know, if you grew up ever going to church or watching church or whatever the case may be, or if you ever grew up just around gospel music or no gospel music, I think it's a universal thing. We're all stirred by it. It didn't matter how old I was. They felt so powerful, and it seemed to really reach down, pull something up out of me, even as a child. And what does that mean? So get this. If we strip everything down, right? By strip everything down, I mean, let's say we tear down the matrix and we leave everything at its energetic state. We remove the physicality of the planet, the physicality of our bodies, and we exist in energetic, spiritual form, right? If all of this matrix shit around us is torn down and we're in this energetic form, in this energetic space, what we really discover is everything is just a pattern. It's geometry. It's actual geometry, sacred geometry. Everything being a pattern means that some patterns are really harmonic. You know, some patterns look good and they feel good and they sound good and they emit a frequency of harmony. And some frequencies don't feel good. They're low. They're low. So in that sense, we have this kind of music that really vibrates in a way that it literally awakens these particular energies. Like, what is a mantra? What is a hymn? What is a rhythm? So we'll start with mantra. Mantras are pretty much a chant or a song, often in the form of a prayer, and it's repeated. So it's something that's repeated over and over, and it kind of has a rhythm to it naturally. But more specifically, I'm going to break down the word mantra, because mantra technically means to think, the man part, and then the tra part is a suffix of basically meaning instrumental. So the way that I saw that was you're using your mind as an instrument. You're literally turning your mind into a musical instrument through these mantras. It's also known as protected speech. That's another, I guess, definition, or the etymology of the word also comes around a secret sound or a protected speech. So I really like those two kind of explanations of what mantra is. Hymns are also chanted songs to God or a hero. The way that I would say these, I honestly think that they're pretty much the same thing, but the mantra is more of an Eastern tradition, whereas the hymns are a Western tradition in Western religions. And overall, both of these things exist on a pattern of rhythm. And rhythm is literally a pattern or cadence that's measured in sound or movement or measurement. And overall, a couple other religions that use mantras are, as I said, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism all use mantras as a part of their daily ritual. Frequency is literally affecting me on an emotional, spiritual level, where it is literally clearing space. It's providing clarity. And I think that that frequency is what transports your mind into a space for manifestation, into a space for understanding, into that clear space, a space for clarity where you can really see and understand the world in a better way, in a different way. And, you know, and I think that once you're aligned within certain frequencies and you have that mental clearing, your mind literally goes into this automatic vibration almost. You know, sometimes whenever I'm listening to mantra music and I'm in a deep state of meditation, I can literally feel those words and those sounds literally slowly wave over me, to the point that it's like I'm conscious of the fact that that's the only thing that is within me, are these words, are these frequencies, these vibrations. And, you know, it starts to emanate from you, and it's literally give and take. It's giving me an energy and I'm pushing out an energy. And I think that that literally becomes a portal in itself. Energy literally, if used in certain ways, can become a portal to transportation, transporting your mind, your ideas, your future to a new destination, right? So you have these words, you're saying these words are creating this sound. These are the mantras, the hymns. And, you know, when you're repeating them over and over, literally becomes a natural rhythm. I think that these mantras really kind of exist as this bridge, this like invisible bridge between the physical 3D world and the energetic 5D world. So 5D existence, I should say. So it's literally like you're taking these words, you're using these words over here in this physical realm, in this 3D realm, and that pattern, that frequency of those words, of those sounds and rhythms are making it to the 5D. And the 5D is, it's almost like there's like a beacon in the 5D that's like, oh, somebody is catching on. I talk a lot about being a beacon to the spiritual realms. And, you know, it's about emitting a certain frequency that you are literally a shining beacon up to the heavens. Like you are shining through each crown chakra, and then your crown is illuminated. And when your crown is illuminated, you literally become a vessel to the heavens. Frequency, vibration, mantra, hymns, patterns. That's why routines are really powerful, because when you get into a certain routine, a certain pattern, a certain way of life, you can literally change your whole life. And that's what this is all about. Mantras and affirmations, what you say to yourself on a daily basis, the cycles that you're repeating inside of your mind, the cycles repeating inside of your consciousness, the frequency emitted from your consciousness. So it's literally the bridge between the two. That's the way that I like to see mantras, is I literally use them as a tool, my mind as a tool, to connect my physical world to a more spiritual world, to an energetic world, to the frequency of the universe. And I think that that bridge in itself helps us to align, you know, ultimately everything that we're here for is about aligning and making sure that the things that happen to us, we understand the reasons and we continue to move and flow with the universe, whether it's good things or bad things. You know, good and bad are relative, they're subjective. So whatever the case may be, you are literally flowing with the universe. And when you use these mantras and you align yourself with the frequencies of the 5D, you start to really see how timing works. And you start to get confirmations through dimensions. Confirmations as, you know, angel numbers and songs and people saying things in certain ways or at certain specific times, or things happening at certain specific times. There's so many things that feel like coincidence that really just aren't. They're just confirmation of being in alignment, and mantras can kind of help. They can be a tool to use to align in that space. Because, I mean, it's easy as just going onto YouTube and typing in mantra 4, and there are mantras for protection and love and mantras for success and money. And, you know, you align yourself in those frequencies, and eventually the 5D sees that little beacon and is like, where are you at? That person is getting on their track. Let me help them out. Let me give them some clues to push them along on their journey. So when you start your day with mantras over and over, you say something to yourself over and over. I like to go to sleep to them as well. I mean, do work to them, study to them, write, meditate. I mean, to be honest, there's nothing that I do that I'm not like, oh, let me put on a little frequency. Let me put on a little mantra music, little frequency music, put it on, because it is going to stir something deep and passionate within me. That is going to be of assistance to my transcendence, to my growth, my spiritual awareness. Yeah. Each each one of us, using our divine power, our divine knowledge, our divine connection, we can create our entire universe. We can create our own realities. And I think, you know, one of many first steps is understanding and intentionally, routinely using mantras to alter your mind and alter the thoughts that are constantly cycling. And talk to me about, you know, your routine around mantras. And mantras, do you use them? How do they work for your life? Have they helped change the way that you think on a daily basis? I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers. It is Ace of Cups tea here. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.